Hey everyone, and welcome back to my playthrough for Digimon World 2003. If you recall from the previous part, I have managed to get Kotemon up to level 5, and the plan now is to head back to the central sector and go to Shell Beach and the Plug Cape. And as you can see, I have entered this battle not as Kotemon but as Dino-Humon, and yeah, unless I get ambushed, I won't be starting any more parts as Kotemon. With Kotemon, I had his hot head technique, and with Dino-Humon, I don't have any techniques, I only have attacks. And even though he's a champion, regular attacks are probably going to do less damage than Hothead. But regardless of that, I have to continue using Kotemon's champion because as he slowly levels up, I know that he learns Heat Cutter and Frost Cutter, which are obviously going to be a lot more powerful and serve us a lot better. And the more we develop, the more techniques we're going to use. So while it might be a struggle early on, I just need to just keep at it, and well, the more I level up and the more techniques I learn, the easier it will become. I'm going to go to Shell Beach first. I believe Digimon is a prone enemy in this area, and it's just been demonstrated. And when you're a level 5, Digimon really isn't much of a threat at all. But when you're like a level 1 or like 2 or 3, I think Digimon is quite a tough Digimon to win against, and that's obviously why I chose not to enter here until now, because well, if I came straight here with Kotemon at a lower level, I probably would have been defeated. Okay, so I've spoken to him and he's mentioned a fishing rod, and I can't get it immediately, but just from speaking to him has now got the ball rolling. And I need various items in order to get the fishing rod. I need a bamboo spear, which I can buy, and that's going to be one of the very few items that I do buy in this challenge. And it's not against the rules, because although I'm buying it, I'm not actually like using it. I'm not going to equip it, so I'm not going to be like using it as a weapon or anything. I'm just buying it so that will help me put together a fishing rod. So there's the bamboo spear, there's a spider web which is dropped by a random enemy, and I will be getting one of those in a bit. And I also need a red snapper, which when you go to Digimon's Lake, which is slightly beyond the Wire Forest, there'll be a Digimon there, and if I speak to him I then get a red snapper, and that Digimon isn't usually there, and it's only by speaking to the fisherman that the Digimon will now trigger. Speaking to the fisherman causes the Digimon to spawn, so you could only get the red snapper from speaking to the fisherman, so that's why I spoke to him. And I've spoken to the other person about the kicking boots, and they said that they'll help us if we can find their Gabumon card for them, and that's what we've just collected. And while I'm here, I'll just make sure I get that bamboo spear as well. I'm just gonna sell. Don't need these power charges. Don't need the buckler. No accessories. Bamboo spear. Okay, so I've got the Gabumon card. I'll be returning that. And I'm then told that in order to get the tree boots, I need to speak to Vmon. And in order to get Vmon to show up, I have to return to the city. There's a random person I need to speak to. I know exactly who it is, and speaking to them results in Vmon spawning, and I will be seeing to him relatively shortly. Okay, here is your Gabumon card. Okay, well, the person in the city only mentions Vmon if you speak to the tamer who lost their Gabumon card, give them their Gabumon card, then they mention Vmon, that then spawns the conversation with the person in the city who mentions Vmon, and then that's what results in Vmon showing up. So I just need to, before I do anything, the plan at the moment is to speak to the person. I don't know if I need to rest. Probably can't hurt to. Okay, so for me to obtain the tree boots, all that's left for me to do is to go to the Wind Prairie and speak to Vmon. Well, I have to do a bit more than speak to him because he likes to play a game of hide and seek. So I have to do that, but it's okay because having played this game over and over, I pretty much remember by force of habit where it is that he hides. So yeah, the tree boots or kicking boots, whatever you want to call them, they're pretty much sorted. And as for the fishing rod, I do have the bamboo spear. While I'm on my way to Vmon, I will speak to the Divermon at the Divermon's lake and get the red snapper, and then all that's left then is for me to get the spider web. The spider web is an item that gets dropped, well, sometimes dropped from a random encounter, and the Digimon that I need is at the Protocol Forest. And I will I will go there, and the Digimon who I need to defeat is vulnerable to fire, so it would be incredibly helpful if I can learn Heat Cutter between now and then. And well, for that to happen, all I need to do is gain one more level with Dinohumon, get up to level 5, and yeah, get Dinohumon up to level 5, and yeah, then I learn Heat Cutter. There's a item down here, and there's a, and well, this is pretty much a fixed battle. In this game, you do get certain spots where if you go into the spot, then you always get into a battle. It's pretty much like a fixed location where you always get into a battle, and it's always against the same opponent. And here, I went into one particular spot where you always battle a flippin' Crabmon. Although 17 experience for this stage isn't bad going, and it's resulted in me learning the much needed Heat Cutter. Okay, well, that's the Divermon spoken to, so that's that sorted. And well, I also think it would make sense for me to when I'm I'll see to Vmon first. Vmon is my next priority. I'll see to him before I do anything else, and then when I'm done with him, I then need to go into the East Sector city, because I need to, there's someone in there who I need to speak to, who mentions the leader who's at the Protocol Ruins. So I need to speak to that person so I can then go to the ruins and then speak to the East Sector leader, who then tells us that he will battle us, but only if we defeat Master Tyrannomon first. And it would be a useful idea to just get all of that sorted, so that I'm then in a position where I can then battle Master Tyrannomon. But of course, I'm not going to be battling him just yet. With the restrictions of this challenge that I have, my stats are going to be much lower than usual. So to compensate, I'm going to have to have my Kotemon at a higher level than normal. So that's going to mean a lot of grinding. So certainly I'm not going to be fighting Master Tyrannomon anytime soon. I just want to just get through the necessary bits so that I put myself in a position where Master Tyrannomon is ready when I am. Because if I was to speak to him at the moment, then he would refuse to fight. He would just say that he's feeling hungry. Is this the person? Yeah. Cool. Just want to take a look at items a minute. Important items. Okay, so it's tree boots and red snapper. Good. So, out of the tree boots and the fishing rod, when it comes to getting into battles with Cardmon and defeating Cardmon and obtaining card boosters, I think that the kicking trees using the tree boots is a better approach to use than to go fishing, use the fishing rod. When it comes to trying to get cards, trying to get booster packs, I will be using the tree boots a lot more than I'll be using the fishing rod. I know normally you can just get into card battles with random people and you can get your booster packs that way, and most people would choose to do it that way rather than get into battles with Cardmon. But tamers will only card battle you depending on how high your charisma is, and they don't go by how much charisma your individual Digimon has. It's a combination of the three, because normally you have 3 Digimon and it's a combination of the 3, so the charismas get added together. And yeah, and you have to reach a certain amount in order for people to card battle you. Since I've only got 1 Digimon, my charisma is going to be very poor, and getting into... Not many people are going to be willing to card battle me, so I'm going to be very restricted when it comes to means of getting booster packs. So I'm going to have to depend on Cardmon quite heavily to, you know, to get me decent cards. And yeah, this Digimon I'm fighting, Dikugamon, he's the one who sometimes drops a spider web. So I'm just going to be continuously running around in circles, beating Dikugamon until I get a spider web. And yeah, the spider web is the only thing missing from getting me the fishing rod. Everything else is sorted. I know that in order to complete this game, I know that it isn't necessary to have cards. The cards is kind of like a mini game within the game. It's not necessary for completing the game. It's not necessary for, you know, just doing the game for storyline purposes, and it makes it seem a bit unnecessary for me to be worrying about, you know, about cards. But I know that when you go to Jewel Island, I know that winning gets you a certain prize. And I can't remember the ins and outs off the top of my head, but I know the prizes are quite useful, because I think it definitely makes changes to the game. I think there's like places that you wouldn't normally be able to go to, which you can go to if you have the prizes from winning at Jewel Island. And I also think that there's certain people who like challenge you to like a card battle, Digimon battle, who wouldn't if it wasn't for the like Jewel Island trophy. So I am interested in getting the Jewel Island trophy. And in order to win, I need to, you know, have some good booster packs. So that's where Cardmon comes into the equation. Okay, still no spider web as of yet, but not to worry, it will show up at some point. Yeah, I've explained you know, the value of the tree boots and why they're important. And the fishing rod, I'm not going to be using it for getting into battles with Cardmon, but I'm going to use the fishing rod as an excellent tool for grinding, because when you throw the rod into the water, it is a very good way to get into battles with random Digimon, and the speed of throwing the rod into the water and getting into a battle with a random Digimon, it tends to work out much quicker than like going to an area, running around in circles, getting into a battle. You know, going fishing and getting into battles that way tends to get you into battles faster. You know, the efficiency of using the rod in order to get into battles, as opposed to just randomly running in circles. You get into battles quicker, you get into more battles, so when it comes to grinding, you know, getting into battles, gaining experience, leveling up, the fishing rod, going fishing is a very handy way to grind to gain experience and level your Digimon up, because you can throw the rod in, get into a battle, throw the rod in, get into a battle. You know, it's a high frequency rate of battles. You know, it's more efficient than just running around in circles. And also, the Digimon tends to be more powerful. The Digimon who you battle from fishing, they tend to be more powerful than the random encounters that you get on land, and so that means more experience. I mean, it means a greater amount of experience, and you know, the more experience you get, the faster you level up, the more you level up. So the gist of what I'm saying is that the reason why I value the tree boots is so I can get into battles with Cardmon, get booster packs, and, you know, boost my card folder. And the fishing rod, the significance of that is for grinding. It's for getting into random battles, gaining experience, and leveling up. It is probably the most efficient technique that the game has to offer. And when I did my no gym, no equipment challenge back in 2012, I used the fishing rod an awful lot. It was pretty much my main strategy for grinding. And yeah, it's gonna be very highly used in this challenge. And well, it's taken a little bit longer to get the spider web than I had anticipated, but not the end of the world, because every battle is gaining me 21 experience. So although I haven't gained a spider web yet, it is gaining me experience, it is leveling me up. So, you know, this is useful stuff. These battles are helping me. I'm just surprised by how long it's taken to, well, I'd say how long it's taken to get a spider web. Well, it hasn't happened yet. I'm surprised that I'm this far into it and I still haven't had any joy. Ah, there you go. Okay. Well, that means I'm done in here. And rather than I know I should be going to the Shout Beach and getting the fishing rod, but I think I would rather just go to the Forest Inn and save and rest. My HP is only about half, and those battles have had quite a heavy drain on my MP as well. And I'm not far off 30 minutes, so I think this might be a good point to, you know, to call it the end of a part. So, yeah, I'm about almost half an hour in, and I've made some pretty useful progress, so I think this is probably quite a good checkpoint to call it the end of part 2. Okay, well, that will be that. Thank you everyone for watching, and hope you enjoyed.